Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready for another week of AI news? Things have been moving so fast.
Absolutely. This week was a whirlwind.
Let's jump right in. The big story, DeepSeek.
A Chinese AI company, right?
Yeah, they just released, get this, two major open source language models, DeepSeek V3 and DeepSeek R1.
And they're both free to use.
Totally free to use, free to modify. It's a huge deal.
I can see why people are calling this a major disruption. It really challenges the way things have been done, like with OpenAI and their closed model.
Exactly, and the market definitely noticed. DeepSeek's chatbot. It hit #1 on Apple's App Store last month.
Wow.
And that same week, leading AI stocks, they lost over $600 billion in value. It was a massive hit. Some are even calling it an AI Sputnik moment.
It's a big wake-up call. DeepSeek did all this with a much smaller budget, too.
It's pretty remarkable. They trained their R1 model for something like $5.6 million.
Using NVIDIA's H800 chips. So a fraction of the cost that companies like, say, OpenAI have spent.
And they're getting comparable performance. It really levels the playing field. Think about it. Anyone could potentially build powerful AI tools now.
That's the exciting part. R1 shows us that you don't need a billion-dollar budget anymore. This kind of efficiency could really democratize AI. Startups, researchers, they can all get in the game now.
There's always a catch, though, right?
There's always something.
With DeepSeek, it seems their chatbot, well, has some interesting blind spots.
Oh, like what?
It doesn't seem to recognize Taiwan.
Yeah.
Or Tiananmen Square. Makes you wonder about what else might be hidden in there.
It's a reminder that these AI systems, they learn from the data they're given. And that data can reflect biases, It can even be used to censor information.
Speaking of, OpenAI isn't staying quiet about this whole thing. They're pushing back pretty hard, actually.
What are they saying?
They're claiming DeepSeek might have used their data to train these models improperly, they say.
That's a bit ironic coming from them, don't you think? OpenAI, always so secretive with their own models and data, now they're worried about someone else doing it.
It does make you think, is this a genuine concern about intellectual property? Or are they just feeling the heat of the competition?
Probably a bit of both, to be honest. This whole situation raises some really interesting questions about intellectual property in the age of AI. It's a gray area, and it's only going to get more complicated as things move forward.
And while all this is happening, OpenAI is busy rolling out new tools of their own. They've launched something called Operator.
Operator? What's that?
It's an AI agent. Supposedly, it can access real-world tools, things like your email, Google Docs, that sort of thing.
Think of what that could do. Scheduling meetings, writing emails, generating reports, all automatically. That's a game changer. AI agents could completely change the way we work.
That's the potential upside, but there's a downside too. Some new research from Google DeepMind, they've highlighted some serious security risks with these kinds of agents.
Security risks? How so?
Especially when you give them access to sensitive data. Think about things like indirect prompt injection attacks, where hackers can trick these agents into leaking confidential information.
So your AI assistant that manages your email could be tricked into sending your entire inbox to a hacker.
Exactly. That's just one example. It's scary stuff.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how do we balance the potential benefits of these agents with the very real security risks?
It's a tough question. It's going to require a lot of careful thought, robust security measures, and constant research to stay ahead of the bad guys.
One thing's for sure, though. The rise of AI agents is something we need to be paying attention to. Even companies like KPMG are starting to take notice.
They've even released a whole framework for responsible AI agent adoption, haven't they?
They have. It's called TACO. Stands for Trust, Accountability, Control, and Observability. It highlights just how seriously businesses are starting to take this.
It's a sign of the times. The future is coming fast.
And it's not just about practicality. Some companies are pushing the boundaries of what AI agents can even do. There's a company called Tavis. They're developing real-time AI video agents.
Whoa, real-time video.
Yeah. Imagine virtual spokespersons who can adapt and respond to viewers, all in real time.
It sounds like something out of a movie. You have to wonder about the ethical implications, though, It blurs the lines between real and fake. What happens when you can't tell the difference anymore?
It's a slippery slope. But for now, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about some of the bigger ethical questions AI is raising.
All right.
Things are moving so fast, and it's starting to feel like we're losing control. Job displacement, bias, the whole thing.
It's overwhelming, I know. There was a really interesting speech in the UK Parliament recently by Baroness Kidron. She was arguing against these copyright exemptions for AI training.
Copyright exemptions.
Yeah, essentially she's saying that if we allow AI to just use any copyrighted material it wants to train itself, it could destroy creative industries.
She's got a point there. Imagine if musicians, artists, writers, none of their work is protected anymore.
Exactly. She had this really powerful line. She said something like, "We're basically giving away what we own so we can rent it back from the tech giants." It really resonated with me.
It's a powerful image. And it raises a bigger question about the value of human creativity in this new world we're building.
And it's not just a theoretical debate anymore. It's happening right now. China's approach to AI, their investment, their willingness to open source everything, it's shaking things up globally.
It's almost like the rules of the game are being rewritten in real time, and we're all just trying to keep up. We've covered a lot of ground already: market disruptions, ethical dilemmas, the rise of AI agents, and I feel like we're just getting started.
It's true, AI is evolving incredibly fast, and we're only beginning to understand what it all means.
One thing's clear, though. The future of AI is going to be shaped by how we respond to these challenges.
Absolutely. Collaboration, transparency, and a real commitment to addressing the ethical concerns, those are going to be key. Welcome back. We're in the thick of it now, really seeing how this AI boom is playing out.
And it's touching every corner of the world, every industry. I'm kind of fascinated by what it's doing to creative fields.
Yeah, that's a big one. AI is generating art, composing music, even writing scripts. A lot of people are worried about what it means for human creativity.
It's a valid question, right? Are artists, musicians, writers, are they all going to be replaced by robots, algorithms?
I don't think it's that simple. Look, AI can definitely mimic creative styles. The stuff it's generating is pretty impressive, but it still needs that human element.
So you see it more as a collaboration. Humans provide the spark, the direction, and AI helps execute.
That's a good way to think about it. AI can be a tool for amplifying human creativity.
Yep.
Imagine it like giving a painter a new set of brushes or a musician a brand new instrument.
It could push the boundaries of what's possible, but what about the other side of that? What about AI-generated content just flooding the market? Could that devalue the work of human artists?
It's a real concern. We need to be having serious conversations about copyright, about ownership. What is the value of human creativity in this new world? How do we protect artists while embracing what AI can do?
It reminds me of when photography first came out. People thought it would kill painting, but it actually just created new forms of art, expanded the definition.
Exactly. That's what I think could happen here. AI could challenge us to rethink what it means to be creative, to be an artist. It's exciting and scary all at the same time.
It is. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Another industry where AI is having a massive impact: finance.
Finance is all about data, patterns, and predicting risk, right? That's where AI shines. It's already being used for everything: fraud detection, algorithmic trading, even personalized financial advice.
It sounds like a revolution. But what about the human element in finance? Can AI really replace financial advisors, the people who help us plan our investments, make those big financial decisions?
Maybe, eventually. But right now, I see it more as AI augmenting those roles. It can give financial advisors all this powerful data, do the number crunching, automate those boring tasks.
So they can focus on what matters.
Yeah.
Building relationships with their clients, offering more personalized guidance, right?
Exactly. It frees them up to be more human, more empathetic. That's still crucial in finance.
It sounds great on paper, but what about the risks? What if these algorithms are biased? What if they make bad decisions? Or what if they all start making the same trades and crash the market?
All valid concerns. It's why we need to be so careful. Transparency, accountability, those are non-negotiables. We have to understand how these AI systems are making decisions. They need to be aligned with human values, not just profit.
We can't just blindly trust the machines. We have to be skeptical, ask tough questions, and demand transparency from the companies that are building this stuff.
Absolutely. The future of AI in finance hinges on responsible development, smart regulations, and open communication between everyone involved.
Okay, let's talk healthcare. This is a big one. Affects all of us.
Yeah.
What's AI doing to the world of medicine?
It's already changing things. We're seeing AI analyzing medical images, finding patterns in patient data that humans might miss, predicting diseases, even personalizing treatment plans.
It sounds like something out of science fiction. Is this the future of medicine, AI doctors?
Not quite, but it's definitely pushing things forward. It can help human doctors make better decisions, streamline things, ultimately improve patient outcomes.
It's incredible potential, but are there downsides we need to be worried about?
Of course. One thing is access. We need to make sure that AI in healthcare is available to everyone, not just the wealthy. Data privacy is huge, too. We need to protect patient information.
And what about the human touch? We can't let AI dehumanize healthcare. That empathy, the compassion, that's still so important.
Couldn't agree more. AI should be a tool that makes healthcare more human, not less, empowering both doctors and patients.
Technology should serve us, not the other way around.
100%. That's a principle we should apply to all of AI, frankly.
Okay, one last industry I want to touch on before we wrap this up. Education. I'm excited about the potential here, but also a little nervous. What do you think?
It's definitely an area where AI could have a huge impact. Think about personalized learning, adaptive platforms, AI tutors that understand each student's needs.
That's amazing. Imagine a world where every kid has a tutor that helps them learn in the best way for them. It levels the playing field in a way that's never been possible before.
That's the hope. But what about teachers? Are they going to be replaced by robots?
That's the question, right?
I don't think so. I see it more as AI transforming the role of the teacher, taking over those tedious tasks, grading, lesson planning, so teachers can focus on inspiring kids, nurturing their creativity.
So they become more like mentors, guides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And AI can help them be better at it, giving them insights into how each student is doing so they can tailor their teaching.
It's a powerful idea, but are there risks? Could this actually make education less equitable if not everyone has access to these tools? And what about the human connection? Kids need to interact with each other, with their teachers.
Those are all important points. We have to be intentional about how we design and implement these AI tools. The goal is to create a more engaging, more personalized learning experience for every student, but not at the expense of human connection.
Finding that balance is going to be key.
Absolutely. We have to keep the well-being of the students front and center, always.
All right, we've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive. Creative industries, finance, healthcare, education. It's clear that AI is touching every part of our lives.
And we've only just begun to see what it can do. Each industry has its own challenges, its own opportunities. The key is to be responsible, to be aware, and to use this technology for good.
All right, we've talked about how AI is changing the world today. Now, where is all this headed? What's next?
That's the big question, isn't it? The pace of development is so fast, it's hard to predict what even next month will look like.
What are some of the big trends you're seeing? What should we be paying attention to?
One thing that's becoming clear is the rise of specialized AI. Instead of these big general-purpose models like GPT-3, we're going to see more AI systems designed for very specific fields.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Think AI for medicine, AI for law, AI for engineering, each one tailored to a specific set of tasks, a specific knowledge domain.
So instead of one giant AI trying to do it all, we'll have a whole network of specialized AIs, each one an expert in its own field. Makes sense. But how do we build these specialized systems? Do we have to start from scratch every time?
That's where things get really interesting. We can use something called transfer learning. We take those big general-purpose models that already exist, and we fine-tune them for specific tasks.
So we're taking a brilliant generalist, someone who knows a little bit about everything, and we give them intensive training in a specific field. They can become an expert much faster that way.
Exactly. It's a much more efficient way to develop AI solutions. And it means we can apply AI to a wider range of problems, a wider range of industries, much faster.
It sounds like we're on the verge of a massive AI explosion. What other technologies are going to shape the future of AI?
Well, the obvious one is cloud computing. AI needs a lot of computing power, and the cloud provides that. But the really exciting stuff is further out. Things like the Internet of Things, where every device is connected and generating data. That's a gold mine for AI.
And what about quantum computing? That's the big buzzword these days. How did that fit into the picture?
Quantum computing is still early days, but it has the potential to revolutionize AI. Imagine being able to solve problems that are simply impossible for even the most powerful classical computers today.
Give me an example.
Simulating complex molecular interactions to develop new drugs. Optimizing massive logistical networks in real time. Quantum AI could do that. It's like giving AI a super brain boost.
It's mind-blowing potential, but it's also kind of terrifying, right? I mean, what happens if AI becomes too powerful, too autonomous?
It's a valid concern. As we build more sophisticated AI, we have to make sure it's aligned with human values, with human goals. We need to be able to control it, govern it.
Easier said than done, though. How do you control something that's potentially smarter than you are?
It's going to be a challenge, no doubt, but it's a challenge we have to face. It's why ethical and responsible AI development is so important.
We've talked a lot about the potential for bias, about privacy concerns, about misuse. How do we actually build ethical AI? What does that even look like?
There are a lot of smart people working on this. Organizations like the AI Now Institute, the Partnership on AI, they're developing ethical guidelines, standards for AI development.
So, like a code of ethics for AI,
Hmm.
rules to guide its development, make sure it's used for good.
Exactly. These guidelines emphasize fairness, transparency, accountability, the well-being of humanity. But guidelines are just a starting point.
Right. How do we enforce those rules? Can you really punish an algorithm?
Not directly, no. But we can hold the people and organizations that build and deploy these systems accountable. We need strong regulations, clear legal frameworks.
So it's a multi-pronged approach. Ethical guidelines, industry standards, government regulations, all working together to keep AI in check.
But even that's not enough. We need to foster a culture of ethical awareness within the AI community itself. The developers, the researchers, they need to be thinking about these issues from the very beginning.
It's not just about building cool tech anymore. It's about building tech that's responsible, that's beneficial to society.
And we need to educate the public, help people understand what AI is, what it can do, what the risks are. The more informed people are, the better equipped we'll be as a society to make the right choices about AI.
It sounds like the future of AI isn't something that's just going to happen to us. We have a say in it.
Absolutely. We're shaping that future right now through the choices we make, the actions we take.
It's both exciting and daunting at the same time. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the latest news to the big ethical questions to the future of AI.
It's a complex landscape, but it's one we have to navigate together. The choices we make today will have a profound impact on the world of tomorrow.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. Keep learning, keep asking those tough questions, and let's build a future we can all be proud of.